Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, I'm Rio and I started this channel with my newest hobby ever, making figurines out of dolls. This is my only fourth project so far, so please be patient with me. I'm still in the learning process. Before we start the next project, I want to say a huge thank you for everyone because we have just reached 850 subscribers in just 1 month. This is insane. I'm over here pinching myself because this feels like the best Christmas gift ever. You are seriously incredible. I never expected this much support so quickly, and I'm so grateful for every single one of you. Alright, let's start the next project. As you can see, I'm using, for the first time actually, a Draculaura doll, but I switched her hands because I needed the claws. The steps of doll customizing are always the same. Removing the original hair and face, if you want of course. I leave the head in boiled water for around a minute so I can pop out the head easier, and also the glue inside of the head is way easier to remove like this. Afterwards, I remove the face with 100% of Aceton. Well, this step is optional, but if you don't like the proportions from the big head to the small body, you can shrink the head by leaving it in aceton water mixture. Catmeleon has a wonderful video for this process. I will link her video down below if you want to check it out. Well, let's start with our stand. As you probably saw from the thumbnail already, today we have a Japan-inspired doll. A geisha that turned into a demon, sitting under a sakura tree or a cherry blossom tree. If you have visited Japan in March or in April, you probably have seen these pink trees literally everywhere. So breathtaking. That's exactly what I'm going for. Visiting Japan was always my dream since my childhood actually, because I grew up watching animes and reading mangas a lot, like Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball, Inuyasha, Detective Conan, Pokemon, Digimon, whatever, everything. By the way, I still watch a lot of animes. And finally, many years later, I was able to visit Japan last year in October, and it was my best 3 weeks ever in life. I think I took the exact same route that every other tourist would take. I visited Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. And in Kyoto, I have booked a 3-hour-long dancing and singing show / Q&A, so interview, with a geisha. Well, she was not a geisha yet, but Kano, that was her name, was a maiko. So an ongoing geisha, attending a geisha school where she learned singing, dancing and playing instruments. And the reason I'm telling you this story is because she was the one inspiring me for this project I had in my mind since the beginning. As you guys know, a geisha or a maiko are not allowed to have a romantic relationship. If you decide to rather be married, have kids and have a husband, you have to quit being a geisha. That's what Kano told me during the interview when I asked her like 100 questions, I think. The thing is, sometimes you cannot decide who you fall in love with, or especially when this is going to happen. So I thought that she was really brave to commit to this, to become a well-known geisha. But I couldn't help myself and thought, this must be a lonely life though, without love. And yeah, this is how my demon geisha was born. Well, I want my monster to look up to the sakura tree, and that's why I'm super gluing her neck first of all. Afterwards, I need one hand to hold an umbrella in the end. That's why I had to cut and reattach the fingers with the help of a thin wire and hot glue, of course. By the way, this technique I learned from Dollightful. If you still don't know her, I will leave her channel down below. She's amazing! Check her out, you will love it. Now you can sculpt your own fingers, so to say, or just reattach the old ones. I took the easier route. Well, there is going to be a lot of sculpting in this project, so let's start with the most important cloth of a geisha, the kimono. But because our geisha is transformed into a beast, her kimono is a bit unusual. And by the way, for those who are interested, you can differentiate a maiko from a geisha by their looks very quickly, because a maiko, so ongoing geisha, wears a lot of flowers in her hair, hairpins, hair ornaments, literally everything that makes her look young and innocent, so to say. And a geisha doesn't wear anything in her hair. Before sculpting the bottom part of the kimono, I have to make sure she doesn't move anymore or my epoxy will just break. So I'm securing her position that I need in the end with some superglue. And this is Kano. I took so many beautiful pictures of her, and of course with her. And please look at her shoes. She could walk so easily in them, it's insane. And I'm trying to recreate exactly those shoes for my project. And by the way, the more you keep your epoxy sculpt clean and smooth at this stage, the less you have to sand later on. So I'm trying hard to make my life a little bit easier with a lot of water and a lot of smoothing out all of the edges. And of course, I'm always making sure that she can still sit on the stand and is straight. As you can see, I forgot to send the factory number on her back, but I will do that later on when my whole 3-hour sanding process starts. Well, 2 minutes for you and 3 hours for me. And slowly but surely I'm covering up all of the rough edges with details, and also I always make sure that I let the epoxy cure before adding more details. So this kimono probably took me around 3 days, because I rather wait than touch the done parts and I have to redo them again and again. Yeah, I learn from my mistakes, guys. Well, I need 3 victims of my cute demon, and I bought these skull silicone forms from Amazon. I will do 4 though, just in case one of them breaks or my cat hides it. And I'm using epoxy resin to fill up the form, and thanks to you guys that gave me a heads up on my last video to use gloves and a mask while doing this. I also left them on the balcony to fully cure, and this took around 2 days. And finally, time to make the horns. So first I mark the places to make sure they are kinda on the same level and distance. After I make little holes with my hand drill to put a wire in the head, so my epoxy later on has something to hold on to. I also put a little bit of superglue on the end of the wire so the wire doesn't move while I form the horns. And after my only 4th doll, my first epoxy is almost done. Look at this! I guess I sculpted a lot of stuff on my first dolls, but I love it. And as always, I have like 50 sculpting tools at home for epoxy, I swear. But the only thing I'm using is always my hands. So let's check out the shoes of Kano-chan again. They are so high and I never saw a shape like this before. So this is going to be quite a challenge to sculpt. This was the easy part. First I tried to sculpt it directly onto the feet, but that didn't work out. So I decided to first sculpt it, leave it to cure, and then attach the shoes with glue. That worked. And as you can see here, when I'm halfway done with the doll, and I'm not sure about the colors I want to use yet, I always take a picture and start drawing on my iPad on Procreate, if you know the program. And after everything is fully cured, we can start sanding her. Herefore, I use my nail buffer, nail file, sanding paper if you have, and also a hand drill is a lifesaver, let me tell you. Well, that took quite a while, so let me skip this part for you and let's go to the fun part. First, I'm covering up her joints and make her neck straight again, because these parts will be seen in the end. First, I'm sculpting a tiny demon head that will be on her kimono belt. Maybe this is the dark spirit that turned her into a demon. Afterwards, I decided on a pair of white socks, so I sculpted them for her. They look pretty good like this. Now I can sand the shoes properly and attach it to the doll. And for this I'm using some hot glue. Yes, they look so cool. Well, let's move on to the next accessory, her hairpin. For this I took a few wires, glued them together on the top with some hot glue and started decorating them. And by the way, this is just regular nail glitter that I had at home. You can use anything. And now you guys will be like, hey, then your demon is not even a geisha, she's a maiko. That is true. But I don't think a lot of people know what maiko is. That's why I didn't want to name her the Cursed Maiko. And with some top coat, I seal the deal. Well, the skulls are finally fully cured and they look awesome. They're just a little too see-through. And check out my cool Japan cup I got from Starbucks in Japan. And please taste those sweet potatoes if you ever travel to Japan. They are nothing like the ones we have in Europe. They are so good, oh my god. And after the tiny spirit finally cured, I could attach him to the geisha's belt. And I just gave him a little teeth. Looks good. And finally, let's use some colors. I'm using the brand Vallejo here. If anyone is interested in buying airbrush colors, this brand gives a super smooth finish. I really like it a lot. And as always, first I use the brighter colors, and with each layer I'm darkening up the tree. And while the tree cures, it's time to paint the skulls. And look what the color was called. Bone white. What a coincidence. This will be our base color. And what was important for me is that all of the skulls look a bit different from each other, because I didn't want them to look like triplets or something. So I tried to use different colors and give them different scars, because they all have their own story with the demon lady right there, right? So yeah. And they started to look quite scary, I have to say. So, mission complete. And one of them gets a Zorro scar on the eye, because I just like Zorro a lot. While the happy three friends are drying out, let's give this lady a primer. After she's fully painted, I will leave her to dry for around 12 hours. Well, the skulls and our tree are dry, so let's put them all together. And because we have a cherry blossom tree, I'm using all of my pink and white leaves that I have left in my storage. Not much though, but it will be enough. A little bit here, a little bit there, cut here, cut there, and the tree was done. But first, let's put more pink flowers, because I want some of them to fly down to the skulls and to the doll as well. That's why I'm trying to make it a bit cohesive. Afterwards, I position the skulls as I need them to be. Add some more sakura leaves on them because they sit there since very, very long. And I also add some greens to the surroundings. And our sakura tree is done. That looks so beautiful and scary at the same time. Exactly what I needed. And back to the doll. After the primer fully dried out the next day, I can finally sketch out some fire patterns on her kimono. And finally we can start to give her some life, so to say. And I think this is a very good time to tell you the Cursed Geisha story. Long ago, in a quiet village, a geisha and a boy fell deeply in love, meeting secretly beneath a blooming sakura tree. Their laughter danced with the petals, their hearts bound by forbidden affection. But their love was discovered. The villagers, outraged, dragged the boy away and cast the geisha out, branding her with shame. As her tears soaked the earth, a vengeful spirit emerged from the shadows, whispering promises and power and vengeance. Desperate and consumed by sorrow, she agreed, her delicate form twisting into a fearsome demon. That night she unleashed her fury, tearing through the village in a storm of fire and blood. When the chaos ended, silence fell, and the demon returned to the sakura tree. One of the sakura leaves gently fell on her hand. She remembered the boy's gentle touch, the joy they once shared beneath those branches. Now she remains there, a solitary figure in the moonlight, her claws stained with regret, longing for the love she lost and the humanity she can never reclaim. Legends say that on quiet nights her sorrowful song can still be heard, a reminder of a love that was forbidden and a heart that could never be free. That's it. I hope you liked the story. That's how she went from a heartbroken geisha to the ultimate village destroyer. Okay, let me treat you with Christmas cookies after this sad story. I think I baked like 6 hours long for these, I swear. But they taste so good. Well, let's give her some cool tattoos now, on her chest and on her back. Just random flower patterns and some minimal patterns here and there. Afterwards, I will darken it up with a black pencil. And let's not forget to show some love to the shoes as well. Well, at this point, it's only face and hair left, and a little accessories here and there. So let's start with the face up first, because it's my favorite. I wanted her to be sad. I will even add some tears later on. But I wanted her to keep a serious face, because she's still a demon. course, a black eyeliner and a red lip was a must. The only thing I didn't want a lot was blush, because as you guys know, geishas paint their face white. So I want to keep it very, very low on face blushing. So I'm blushing her first with some grey tones and afterwards with just a little bit of pink. I'm darkening up all of the tattoos again with some black pencil, and she's getting the last coat of Mr. Superclear. And for now, she looks like this. Alright, let's give her the next accessory she will get, and that's going to be an umbrella. And if you ever had a cocktail in your life before, you know what this is. It is literally a cocktail umbrella as decoration. And I'm just painting it black because, well, it was white before and it didn't match the outfit. So I'm making it black. The pink umbrella already fits her very well, so I'm leaving that one. And now I'm just darkening up the face with some black acrylic paint and afterwards a red acrylic paint. Afterwards, we have to add some catch lights. And of course, she needs some tears. I'm making the tears out of top coat, literally a nail top coat, and insta-curing it with my mini flashlight I always use for my nails as well. You can also use UV resin for this part if you have UV resin at home. But I think having top coat is more possible than UV resin though. I gave her some bangs and a Hema cut on the sides. Let's not forget to give her the sakura leaf that falls on her. Let's add the hairpin as well that we did before. And as you can see, I just added a few more flowers here and there on her head, on her thigh, so everything is cohesive. And guess what? We are finally done. Wait, let me quick fix the bangs again. Well, I guess it's a wrap. Here is our lovely, terrifying, cursed geisha with her tragic story of love and heartbreak. But as dramatic as her story is, let's not end this on a sad note, because it's the holidays after all. As we wrap up this creation, I just want to take a moment to thank you again for your amazing support this year. It really means the world to me, and I'm so excited to share even more creative chaos with you in the year to come. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a fabulous New Year to you all. Stay creative, stay inspired, and maybe stay away from vengeful spirits, just in case. See you in the next video. Bye, take care.